And when it comes to acquiring properties in Nigeria, a lot of people don't even know what to expect. A lot of people have been doomed. A lot have been scammed. And why some has even given up their dream of acquiring property in this country? Because of they don't want to go through the hustle and bustle they've gone before, or the experiences of their friends or relation, or just to save themselves the problems of Omonile, which are the land grabbers. But in this video, I've fully explained all the landed documentation as far as Nigeria is concerned that you need to know so that it will save you the headache of Omonile and also save you from being duped. I've taken out time to explain all the landed documentation that is ever required in this country. When you know all this, you will never get scammed again. You should know what to expect. And if you watch to the end of this video, I've provided some useful tips that will help you, that will guide you step by step so that you'll be fully aware when you are venturing or you're trying to acquire property anywhere in this country as far as Nigeria is concerned. And please, I encourage you to watch to the end, and please like this video, subscribe and share to loved ones. So firstly, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Godwin Okoyomoh. I'm a real estate professional, all right, and I'll help people, both the low income earners and high income earners, to achieve their dream home with comfortability and affordability. All right, when it comes to acquiring property through me, because I deal with property developers that are well verified, and you don't have to go through the problem of omonele or land grabbers. And that's why I'm bringing you this content. This content will open your mind to the things that you might have been doing wrongly, because I know by the end of this video you shall be well informed. Types of property in Nigeria is what we call free land property. A free land property is the property with no litigation. Okay, meaning the land is free, no government encubiances, no money, free land. It's called the freehold. That's why you see property, the title is called freehold. So when you are buying property and the title is freehold, you are good to go. Second types of land we have is called acquisition land. All right, an acquisition land is of two types. Is either global acquisition or committed acquisition. Global acquisition is owned by a government but free for public individuals and parastatals. Government give out this land to communities and to villages, for them to use and to build wherever they want to build on. While a committed acquisition, is a land owned and reserved by government for its own use itself. Government want to build roads, they want to construct road, they want to bridges, they want to use they want to construct build pipe on water for medical facilities, for public use entirely. These are lands you should not go close to. A committed land is not a land I advise anyone to buy. Now, what will happen to a freehold property? When the property is under freehold, the government will in turn publicize the information of that property to newspaper. By so doing, it is now called a gazette. Meaning that any property that is a freehold must have a gazette. A gazette is a public announcement on newspaper, on media, that a particular property which was under government ownership, global acquisition, has been given out to a particular community. So you can do business with that community. You are free to buy. So that documentation is called gazette. All right, it's called gazette. The government gave the property out to the individual or to the community, and by so doing now, it's called what we call excision. Excision. When they say a document, a land property is an extinction, meaning that it has been excised to the community, meaning that the government once owns the ownership, but now that's been given out to the public individual. Now it is called excision. So when you want to buy property and property is an excision, that meaning that property is good. You are good to go. You can go ahead with that property. A certificate of ownership, as the name implies, it shows that you are the original owner of that land. And let me tell you something. A certificate of ownership a land cannot have two certificates of ownership. A property cannot have two certificates of ownership. Now, when you want to buy land in Nigeria, You know, a lot of people have been scammed with this certificate of ownership because they believe it is the highest, okay, documentation one could have, okay, when you want to buy a property. Now you want to buy a property and the person is showing you a certificate of ownership. A certificate of ownership belongs to the original, the first owner of that land. Okay, now that property, anyone that is selling property for you and telling you the property has a certificate of ownership, because the government will not give you another, because you are buying that land, will not give you another will not issue another certificate of ownership for you on that land. There is one document that there's a document that you can use to claim ownership of that land, of which some people don't even ask for that document because they are not aware. A certificate of ownership is only prepared once and cannot be done twice on a particular land. Probably a deed of assignment is prepared by the lawyer of the buyer, of the seller, because he knows the history of that land. Okay, now he will use that history to prepare you deed of assignment and hand it over to you. Okay, now which brings me to my next topic, which is called a governor's consent. Now, a governor's consent, it is where the government consent is very powerful. It is now your due diligence to take that deed of assignment to the appropriate office and say, okay, well, so person is transferring, or the owner will take you or you to the governor's office or to the appropriate office. So it's okay, I have a land and I'm transferring the ownership of this land to this person. This is the deed of assignment. Now you now need the consent of the governor to be on that document. Now the governor, what is the government doing? The governor is consenting that he is aware that this Mr. A is transferring the ownership of this property to Mr. B. Okay, so don't be deceived by certificates of occupancy. All right, because a certificate of occupancy cannot be issued twice on a particular land. The only thing that can give you the right access to a property in this country, Nigeria, is a deed of assignment. A receipt does not give you the ownership of a land. Some people have been duped because they collect a receipt. When you buy a property, a landed property, and you are being issued a receipt, anybody can forge a receipt. A receipt does not give you the ownership of a property. The only thing that gives you the ownership of property is a deed of assignment. Eventually, you are paying bit by bit. There's a document, there's a particular document you can ask for, which is contract of sale. A contract of sale, it shows that, oh, you have paid a particular sum of amount on this property. So it shows that you are in business with the seller. All right, so it cannot in any way dupe you. All right, but by adventure, you put money down for a property and you have been given a receipt. A receipt does not guarantee that you own a land. Okay, that's why a lot of people have been duped, and probably the land they have sold to you, they resell it to another person. Survey, it shows the allocations, okay, that the quantity surveyor has given out to you. Probably out of the 100 acres of land which was available, you are buying, let me say, 1 acre or 5 plots or 2 plots or 1 plot. That portion that is being allocated to you that is called a survey. The survey comes out with it. Okay, it's called a survey. So a survey is just its size and the square meter, the land. If you are buying 5 square meter or buying 6 square meter, that land, that sizes and what that point that is showing you is called a survey. If you get value on this video, please subscribe and like this video. Okay, when you like this video, it will help the YouTube algorithm to show it out to a lot of people, so that they can have knowledge that you've gotten from this video, so that they won't fall prey in the hands of land grabbers or people that position themselves to be real estate agent on which they are not. Okay, on this video I'll be giving you daily valuable content, so please do check back and subscribe and turn on the bell notification icon for more video alert once I drop video on this channel. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for staying tuned.